Welcome. Hi, my name is Kathy Davidson. I'm a plant-based recipe developer, lifestyle coach, and CEO of VegInspired, where we help people successfully transition to a plant-based diet with practical tips, strategies, and easy and delicious recipes without the added stress in the kitchen. I want to take some time today to share with you my Eat More Plants journey and how my experiences can help you. Pre-plant-based, I was a hamburger lover and cheese devotee. I drank coffee with cream, ate burgers with cheese, and savored a buffalo wing smeared with ranch or blue cheese dressing. It was about 7 years ago when I was first introduced to the notion of eating more plants. And guess what? I was a resistor. Drop a comment below if you have a resistor in your life. My dear husband John mentioned centering our meals around plant-based foods. He had read a couple of contradictory articles in a health magazine, which catapulted him into a consumption mode of everything plant-based health related. He was constantly sharing research from doctors like Dr. McDougall, Dr. Michael Greger, Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, just to name a few. They supported plant-based diets for preventing and reversing common diseases. At the time, we weren't personally diagnosed with any of these life-threatening diseases, but we did have family history of the very diseases that these doctors were claiming a plant-based diet could reverse and prevent. Diseases like heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and more. While I was intrigued with the idea, the thought of giving up my favorite animal products was a bit too much for me. So I took in all the information and encouraged John to continue to share. And share he did. He loved to cook, and so he did everything in his power to inspire and motivate me to embrace eating more plants and limit my meat and dairy intake. I remember one of the first recipes we tried was a mac and cheese recipe from Dr. McDougall's website, where the cheese was made from squash. I couldn't quite fathom how that could possibly taste like the cheese to which I was so devoted, but I was pleasantly surprised and told him he could keep incorporating those recipes. But of course, I was not giving up my burgers or blue cheese dressing. And for months, we ate mostly plant-based recipes at home, and I enjoyed my meat and dairy when we dined out. As time went on, we continued to immerse ourselves in the studies and articles of plant-based eating. We purchased and read the book, The Starch Solution by Dr. John McDougall. Yay, high carb. This book completely blew my mind because for as long as I could remember, I had been told that carbs were bad and to avoid carbs and that carbs make you fat. And the entire book was focused on the positive results and effects of eating a starch-based, high-starch diet. One that's high in carbs like rice, brown rice, potatoes, and low in fats such as olive oil, coconut oil, and high doses of nuts and seeds. What in the world? It all seemed like nonsense and so backwards from what I had read in all those health magazines and saw on TV, where the carbs were positioned as bad and olive oil was good. But I learned that it is often the way that the carb is presented that makes it a healthy or unhealthy option. So I encourage you to look into complex carbohydrates, your whole grain carbohydrates, and pick up a copy of Starch Solution. It changed my entire mindset on carbs. So the more plant-centered our diet became, the more information about the meat and dairy industries I allowed myself to consume. I followed organizations like Mercy for Animals and read articles about the treatment in factory farms. I made the connection at age 35, you guys, 35, that a cow had to be pregnant to give milk. I know it sounds ridiculous and naive, but I honestly just thought they gave milk. I mean, that was what we were told, right? So as my knowledge and shot grew about the meat and dairy industries, my consumption of those products subsided. It had been about 6 months since the notion of eating more plants was first presented. And at that time, I was probably 95% plant-based. So I'm telling you, it can take time. If you are not interested in doing this cold turkey, give yourself time, give yourself grace. Take it one meal and one day at a time. The turning point stands out pretty significantly as my 100% day happened. I was at a friend's farm and one of their cows had just had a calf. We were going to walk out into the barnyard to get a glimpse of the days old baby cow that would be raised for slaughter. And as we approached the cow and his mom, in that moment, I realized I didn't want to eat animals anymore. I woke up the next day and I was vegan. So we ditched the meat and dairy we had lurking in our fridge, and we focused even more on eating plants as the center of our meals. In the beginning, we ate simple meals of grilled vegetables served over rice, veggie burgers on pretzel buns with our favorite burger toppings, potato tacos loaded with lettuce, tomatoes, olives, and avocado, roasted cauliflower tossed in buffalo sauce, and bowls of goodness, greens, grains, beans, veggies, and our favorite sauces. Once I realized I didn't need animal products to live a healthy life, I started trying new to me plant foods too, like beets and beans and chirimoya and passion fruit. We were having so much fun figuring out plant-based recipes that we decided we wanted to share what we were doing with others, and we started VegInspired in February of 2015 as a platform to share our tasty plant-based recipes. Over the years, our recipes have been made in thousands of kitchens all over the world, and now I'm the primary recipe developer with some big projects on the horizon. So I hope you are excited. Over the last 6 years, I've eaten on both ends of the plant-based spectrum and everywhere in between. There were times when I ate all the vegan products on the market and other times where I focused 100% on a whole food plant-based diet. I have found I feel best when I eat a mostly unprocessed plant-based diet where my daily habits align with a more whole food approach. I've studied the works of countless practitioners and doctors and uncovered more information than you could ever imagine on the health, wellness, and practicality of living a plant-based vegan lifestyle. I've mastered strategies and methods to successfully eat plant-based without frustration, overwhelm, and stress. I'm eager and excited to share these experiences and techniques to help others eat successfully plant-based as well. If you are ready to eat more plants and want to join a free, supportive community, I want to invite you to join my Facebook group, VegInspired Foodies, and start implementing the strategies that I've learned and I'm sharing today. I'm happy to answer your questions, so drop them in the comments and let's get started.